Hey everybody, I have received a bunch of emails lately from folks asking about used EVs and whether or not it's a good idea to buy a used EV from Hertz because they have a lot on sale. Well, look what we just did. We got ourselves a 2023 Volvo C40. This is the model that will henceforth be known as the EC40 in Volvo's lineup. It's the sleeker, somewhat sexier, and a little bit more aerodynamic version of the Volvo XC40, its practical cousin. The big difference, of course, is right back here where the XC40 retains a pretty horizontal roofline and a more traditional hatch, whereas this kind of looks like a Volvo Sportback, if you will. Now I'm out here with Travis because Travis is going to be doing our first used car EV road trip, and he's going to be taking this home to Washington, which Travis, I think it said it's going to take you, what, 7 EV charging stops?
It's going to be quite a few, and I haven't even picked my total route yet, but don't worry, we'll go ahead and take a look and keep track of all that data. The one thing I appreciate is that we're getting a little bit more aerodynamics. It should be ever so slightly more efficient, but this is not the most efficient Volvo, and it's a lot less efficient than this year's.
Yes, this one was rated at the beginning for 220 miles of EPA range, probably because of the fact that it has a significant amount of ground clearance. They didn't really change the ground clearance at all versus the regular gasoline XC40. And of course, it has 402 horsepower. Now, if you were to buy one of these today, it would be EPA rated for just under 260 miles of range, still not the best. But 2025, it looks like it's going to be coming with a new battery pack that should extend the range. And this one has the original battery pack that launched with the Polestar 2, the XC40 Recharge, and of course, the C40 here. Now, as Travis and I look around the C40 together, Travis, what do you think we paid for this little guy?
I think we probably got a steal because that's one of the reasons we get all those questions, because these Hertz cars are not only on sale, they're on a pretty good sale. And this vehicle from new was pretty expensive.
Yes, if you want to buy this exact trim, I looked it up this morning, today, this would be $60,245. This is the mid-level trim. It's not the ultimate in the lineup, and it is missing one vexing feature.
And it's one that I don't need every day, but for this road trip is really gonna hurt me. There is no adaptive cruise. And it's a little bit surprising at $60,000 for an MSRP that we don't have adaptive cruise, because that comes standard on a lot of cars these days.
Yeah, and what's even weirder about that in Volvo's lineup is that it has autonomous emergency braking and all that jazz, and a radar sensor even jammed into the front. So why no adaptive cruise control? Honestly, I don't know. But check out those cool, sleek, and sexy taillights. That's probably the best thing about this design for me.
This is a really good looking vehicle. It also has this kind of like dual level spoiler that it doesn't seem like it would. I mean, this is a fairly restrained design, as we get in a lot of Volvos. But there's a lot more spoiler action going on here than I would have expected. And I think that the sleek back end really does a good job of blending with the slightly bulldog-ish front end. I mean, it's nice and flat, but it's nice lines, and it'll also be easy to clean because, as you can tell, it's a little dirty, and it's just gonna get even dirtier on my drive home.
And this one has the optional wheel package, which gives us 20-inch wheels and staggered tires, 235 up front, 255s in the back. Definitely not adding to that range figure, but,
no, but it will make it more fun to drive.
That's true. And time for the pricing reveal. This guy, as equipped, was $27,500 with only 19,500 miles on the clock.
Now that's a good deal as long as a bunch of stuff doesn't go wrong. And that's exactly why we bought it, is to go ahead and see what this looks like so that you can get a better idea before you jump into it. But either way, I mean, over 50% off for a 1-year-old car that's got more than 1 year's of miles, depending on how you want to look at it. But I would go ahead and take that deal.
So let's go ahead and pop the hood so we can see the frunk. We'll talk about the one modification I did immediately, which is to remove the stupid little foam divider that Volvo includes in every EV, because for some reason that foam divider eats up half of the frunk.
You know, a lot of these front trunks, not only are they not very large, but they all have these dividers in them. And especially the smaller they get, the less I guess, intrusion I want. If I want to put something in there, I can go ahead and create a divider myself, but we have a lot of stuff shoved in here.
Yeah, for your road trip, I got you a Tesla tap, you'll thank me later, and a Tesla charge adapter. This is actually a Ford one. Well, no, actually this is a GM one, because this is the one we ordered for the Blazer.
And this should be fun to use because I will be trying out that supercharger network here with the Volvo.
And you can try out your tire puncture repair kit, because I got you one of those. That'll be fun on the side of the road. Nice little rag there. It's a clean one, don't worry, just in case.
Yes, Yes, of course.
And then, every charging adapter known to man.
And I told you I have charging at home, but you never know where you're going to end up, and we are going to try a few things with this car. So having options is a good thing.
I have always loved the fact that Volvo, not the fact that it's shaped like a suppository, but but the fact that Volvo gives you a dual voltage charge adapter with every EV, and this is surprisingly good. This is a 40 amp, 240 volt adapter standard. It looks very much like the one that's in the plug-in hybrids, but the plug-in hybrid one is not rated for as much.
No.
Now, I don't know why so many manufacturers do this sort of lid in a lid thing. Are you a fan of the double lid just to make sure that you stay extra watertight?
Probably not. It shouldn't seem too difficult to create a watertight seal the first time, but maybe, if it's easier, people aren't in and out of their front trunks a whole lot, I don't think, so it's not the end of the world.
And we also have a latch here, rather than the double pull for the hood, which I think I would prefer. You do have to do the single pull and then the latch. Let's check out the cargo room to see what you're working with back there.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing that we lose here from the XC40 is going to be practicality, but it's not an enormous amount of loss. It's just not as tall of items that you're going to be able to fit here easily, but everything else, your luggage, your grocery store, everything else should be okay. Big boxes or very large dogs would be where it gets
Still have a ski pass-through too.
Yeah, and it's a 60/40 split with a pass-through. I mean, this is still a practical, functional car, and we have some of my favorite features like these grocery bag holders.
Yep. And kind of fun fact, these all-weather mats that are inside and outside, these actually came with the car from Hertz. Go figure.
Yeah, it's not including the spare, the originals.
Yeah, and they actually had the original mats as well. Now back here we have the tire iron and the thing like that. The Fix-A-Flat used to be up front, but I actually relocated it to back here in this funky-shaped car, I don't know, whatever storage well
it seems like it fits there really well,
yeah.
So maybe that's where it should have gone in the first place.
That's what I would have thought. I would have thought packaging that there and giving you more space inside would have been the way to go, but let's take a look at the dashboard. Now, Travis, I have to admit, it took me a while to find this specific one because it is blue on the outside and it's a little blue on the inside.
I love that we have some different color interiors coming back, and it feels like blue is one of the big ones. I love that we've got blue sprinkled throughout here, and the fact that it doesn't match the exterior is fine by me. I'm just glad it's in here.
And I did also put in one of these fabric shade doohickeys because this has the same sort of typical Tesla problem where there's no default powered shade or anything like that for the big standard glass roof.
Yeah, and depending on the day, I'll probably take it in and out, but it's nice to have the option. I mean, this is, especially for the price tag, I wouldn't mind seeing an electrochromatic option on more of these electric vehicles, especially with those big roofs.
Now, you are also lucky because you get to debut the latest Volvo software update, which includes, your eyes not deceiving you, Android Auto, finally. That actually arrived last week. I was kind of surprised. I was hanging out somewhere and it was like, would you like to install this update in your car? Is it securely parked? I said, sure, why not? It took a whopping 3 hours.
That is a lot of time to put in Android Auto.
But it gave us Android Auto. And of course, it has the complete Google connected systems. But you noted this, Travis.
Oh, boy.
These little guys right here.
Yeah, I immediately looked at those and went, oh, so this one does have adaptive cruise control because that's what those icons would be for.
No.
But you said they don't.
No, they're there just to make you ask questions.
And as much as I hate a blank panel, I realize the thing I like less than a blank panel is a panel that has the button that isn't going to do what it's supposed to do.
We do have the comfy seats though.
Yes,
four-way lumbar.
Extendable thigh support, that's going to be great.
And then the back seats, not half bad. And then hiding under the all-weather mats was, again, the OEM kind of Berber, I guess, style floor mats.
But
I kind of like
blue
that.
again, and more points for the blue.
Blue on blue on blue. This one has the all-weather package or cold weather package or whatever they're calling it, which gives us the heated outboard rear seats and the heat pump, which I think you may find handy on your trip.
I definitely will, yes. And it's been cold where I'm at, so not losing more range is always a plus.
One thing I've always found funky though, why is it that we have this like ski pass-through thing, but the bars for the rear headrest, those are kind of in that ski pass-through? Don't know about that.
Yeah, it seemed like an interesting layout.
Yeah, not quite sure why that exists. So as always, be sure and post your burning questions down there in the comment section below, including why is this episode on both channels? Well, because both channels have the car. So you will find more detailed EV-specific content over on the EV channel. We'll talk on the regular channel more about how the purchase process went, why you might or might not want to get a used car from Hertz, things like that. All the EV details like how this battery ages, hopefully over the next year or two, well, you'll see that soon. And Travis is going to be road tripping this up and road tripping it back, including testing the Tesla supercharging network to see if there's any significant advantage for that.
Expect videos on those.
Yeah, coming up soon, because of course Volvo has committed to that J3400 standard, but of course, since this is a 2023, you know, we're CCS all the way with actually quite a lot of nature hanging out there in those plugs. Sorry about that. Anyway, see all of you later.